EV tax credits have been in the news a lot, but the government is saying there is no Chinese automakers that are taking advantage of the Inflation Reduction Act's tax credit for new electric vehicle purchases. Now, this is according to the Deputy Treasury Secretary Wally Adeyemo, who spoke at a Senate panel and at a hearing at the federal EV incentives held at the Senate Committee for Energy and Natural Resources. The remarks after the Treasury and Energy departments in December issued a vital guidance for automakers on how strictly the Biden administration will enforce the provisions that block tax credits for EVs that contain battery materials from foreign adversaries such as China. All of this is just plain doublespeak. But what does it really mean? More than 7,000 dealers registered to offer point-of-sale EV tax credits for 2024 have written letters to say this has to stop. This is killing our dealerships. Sales aren't there. Manufacturers are saying that, and I've covered that in many, many videos, and I've been saying this for a long time and taking a lot of heat for it, but I want you to know the truth, and I'll never lie to you. As of January 1st of 2024, new EVs that are ineligible for Section 30D tax credits has expanded. So there's very few vehicles that actually qualify. And if any of these battery components are made or assembled by a foreign entity or concern, which includes companies in some cases with subsidies of U.S. companies, in other words, they own part of it. We saw that in Michigan, we saw that in Nevada, a lot of them. They're owned and controlled by China, Iran, and North Korea, as well as Russia. And in 2025, the exclusion applies to critical minerals that are extracted, processed, or recycled by one of these entities, which is pretty much all of them because we don't mine here because of environmental reasons. So how many vehicles does that leave with electric vehicle tax credits? Well, even less than today's 13 cars that qualify. In defining the provision, the Treasury and Energy departments tried to strike an achievable balance, heeding the law's objectives while leaving some room for Chinese involvements as automakers reshuffle their supply chains into compliance. A too strict interpretation of the term could have prevented any EVs from qualifying, while too lenient approach could risk the law's national security and domestic production benefits. And I've covered that multiple times before. You can check that out on my channel. But even so, the strict requirements have slashed the number of qualified models to just 13 from 25 the year before. And that's according to federal data. You can check it out yourself at fueleconomy.gov. That's fueleconomy.gov. However, some automakers such as General Motors have said they expect more EVs will qualify as they adjust sourcing. But you can't find sourcing here in the US or in North America. There's a little bit of it, but not enough. And recycling through redwood materials is still not coming in quick enough. Another quote from Adeyemo said that Section 30D is helping Ford and General Motors to be able to become in a position that will allow them to compete with Chinese automakers, but to win not only here in the United States, but around the world. That will be a challenge. The Biden administration has faced harsh criticism for its implementation of the EV tax credits, namely from Republicans, none of whom supported the Inflation Reduction Act, and Senator Joe Manchin, a Democrat for West Virginia, who held the key vote in passing the law and helping write it. It seems as though Manchin, who chairs the Senate Energy Committee, has blasted the administration for not going far enough in preventing Chinese involvement and instead allowing loopholes that could benefit China. No surprise there, which dominates the EV battery supply chain and the total world sales of electric vehicles. At issue in part is the Treasury's foreign entity guidance, which includes a temporary transition rule through 2026 that gives the industry time to develop standards for tracing minerals that account for less than 2% of the value of battery critical components. Now, we're going to start seeing new types of batteries. We've heard about solid state. I've covered that before on my channel, but we are far from making that ready for prime time. An additional quote is, "My problem is not with EVs," Manchin said at the hearing. "My problem is with the administration's crusade to convert everyone over to EV, regardless of where the battery came from or what the law actually says." Republican senators on the panel included ranking member John Barrasso of Wyoming and Josh Hawley of Missouri, also scrutinized the administration's implementation of the tax credit and the potential for Chinese participation. In quote, "Your rule allows Chinese companies to get the tax break. It loosens up the restrictions, so now we have subsidies for our rivals," Hawley argued. Deputy Energy Secretary Dave Turk, who also testified at the hearing, defended the administration's approach in quote, "I would strongly disagree with that," close quote, said Turk, citing how fewer EVs are now eligible for the credit as automakers scramble to adjust their sourcing to meet the requirements. They've been trying to do that since the beginning. Manchin, who last year said he would sue the Treasury over how it is planning to interpret the EV tax credit's critical mineral and battery component provisions, again threatened legal action. Stop threatening. Let's see some action. He said, in quote, "I will support any entity that goes to court to correct the illegal liberalization of the law with an amicus brief to set the record straight to the bill of Congress actually wrote," a closed quote. So don't be surprised if in the near future you see a lot of Chinese cars being available to the US with a federal tax credit, and all the rest of the vehicles, they're not going to get the tax credit, because that's the way the legislation was written. And it certainly is not in consumers' favors. Although you're thinking you're getting a great deal and you don't mind buying a Chinese car, it's going to cost our economy, it's going to cost our automakers, and if they fail or they have losses, it's going to impact literally many aspects of your life, including the stock market. Now, this is not in the favor of car makers, of course, except for the Chinese. Now, I'm sure you have some comments, and if you like this video, you can subscribe for more videos like this one. We'd love to hear your comments and questions. I'm happy to get involved in the conversation. You can support me by buying me a cup of coffee. The link for that is in the description, plus all the links for our website, social media, the book, and the podcast. I'm Lauren Fix. Thank you so much for watching. Have you ever thought, why in the world is my wireless bill so darn high? What are we paying all this money for? Speed, coverage, data, access to 5G, unlimited talk and text, mobile hotspots? We are partnering with Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile offers all of these features for as low as $15 per month. They're reimagining the wireless shopping experience and made it easy and online. No stores, no salespeople, just huge direct-to-use savings. Why should you pay more when you have access to premium wireless? Mint Mobile runs on the nation's largest 5G network. Whether you use your phone to watch YouTube, listen to podcasts, or play games, you get the same speed and performance as the big guys while connecting to Mint's network. How hard is it to switch your service? Big Wireless wants you to think it's hard, but switching to Mint is super easy. Thanks to digital eSIM cards, which most phones now have, you can sign up and activate immediately right on your phone from the comfort of your home. And if your phone doesn't have an eSIM, Mint will ship you a new SIM card for free. Just go to trymintmobile.com/LaurenFix, also linked in the description down below, to get premium wireless for $15 a month.